All right, here we are. It is July 20th. Can you believe that? It's July 20th already. And I'm sure people are going to be jumping on and going through, getting their timing together as far as, what time we do this every week. And I appreciate that. So I'm just making sure that the live is going here like it should. And looks like it is fine. All right. So here we are, July 20th, halfway through the month of July, and things are heating up. And if you have not, oh my goodness, Jay and Michelle have jumped on. If you are in that place and position where you're still getting ready, kind of to get ready, it's time to flick the switch. Good morning, Jay and Michelle. Always good to see your smiling faces. Now's the time to do it. I know we always have this lull in the middle of the month, and that's over. It's time for us to kick it into gear, because this momentum that we need to get going in July will feed into August, and then into the last quarter, September, October, November, and December, the last quarter of the year, which is typically in network marketing the biggest for everybody that's in the business, right? But it's always bigger and better for those people that have built up that momentum going into this time frame. Okay, so I want to make sure that everybody is. I know we've got a lot of the team that are in Baltimore right now for the road shows. It is the first road show that Josh and Jenna are back with the baby. We've already seen pictures, if you haven't, of Jenna and little Zoe, I think. Is that her name? Isn't that her name, Zoe? Michelle's shaking her head, so I must be correct. And it's just, it's packed out and it's great. But if you go to a road show and you come back and nothing happens, then what you've done is gone to a road show. And that's really exciting. That's really cool. But all you've done is gone to a road show. It's like you go to a good movie, and when you get done watching the movie, you get done, and the next day you may tell a few people about, hey, it was an awesome movie, and that's the end, of that. And a week later, you forget that you ever went to the movie. You don't want to be in that position with these events. Now, even if you can't get to one of these events, feed off of the people that have been going to the events, right? Feed off of those people that attend the events and share their lives and share what's going on with them and all of that stuff. And that way you can grab a hold of that enthusiasm and that motivation. And I see Mr. Stardom himself, Mr. Carlos Martinez, has just jumped on. We have, this, we always start off like this, 15, 16 people or so, and then all of a sudden we've got 30. And people just keep on fading in. So I want to talk today about social media. And I know everybody's going, oh no, social media, here we go again. But I think it's important, because in this day and age, most people aren't doing a lot of one-on-one in-person marketing and building. We do so much online. And if you don't understand and understand exactly what to do online and how to do it properly, then it can end up being a disaster for you. So I want to kind of go in a little bit of depth today and talk about a handful of different areas. The first area I want to talk about is your Facebook profile. I want to make sure that you all understand what your Facebook profile should be, what it should look like, what you should be putting out there. The next area I want to talk about is your audience. What's your audience supposed to? We just think that, I've talked to people over the last couple of months that are just going over and looking at the suggestions that Facebook is giving, and add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend to get to that 5,000. And I see people laughing going, oh no, that was me. Or I know people that do that, right? And here's what I'm going to, and I'll tell you why that's not a good thing to do, okay? And then last but not least, I want to share with you a new script, if you will, to go fast. That before I ever share it with the team, I always try it out. And I've been amazed at the results so far and how easy it is. And now, the individuals that shared this with me are Tim and Lacey Garza. And if you guys have never met Tim and Lacey, they're amazing young couple. I think they're the youngest 100K affiliates in the company. And we are setting up for tomorrow evening to do a special Zoom training with them at 6:30 Pacific time. Okay, and I will get all that information out for you, Michelle, to put out to everybody. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be incredibly good because I've asked Tim to kind of go through again the system. I'm going to go through it today, but nobody goes through it better than Tim. Now, the reason I've attached and latched onto this is because my mentor is Robert Hollis. And what Tim did was he went out to Robert Hollis and said, I'm starting a new position. What do I do? And he said, go watch The Professor. Now, if you know anything about Robert Hollis has got a lot of videos where he does character videos, like The Prisoner, the professor, the farmer, the karate expert, the sensei, I think he's called it, and so forth. And all of those characters, he takes that character and shows you how that relates to network marketing and how you can use what that character might do. Well, The Professor is one of my favorite ones, okay? So here's what I want you to write down first, okay, before we jump into this. With Robert Hollis has opened up his tribe training to everybody. It's totally free. So you need to go to roberthollis.com and I'm trying to add people too. Carlos, I made you a co-host too, by the way. Go to roberthollis.com and sign up for the tribe. It's free. You're going to get, it used to be $19.95. It's now free for you to get that. It's going to be, it's every Saturday at 11 p.m. Pacific time, and it is well worth you being on it. I can't believe he's opened this up to everybody for free. The other thing he did was there's his advanced class is the Inner Circle. We used to pay $99 a month for that. And the Inner Circle gives you all of the tribe stuff, plus a ton of other training that he's got out there, the character trainings and all of that stuff. And for this month only, it's $19.95 a month. And once you get in this month at $19.95 a month, it stays at $19.95 a month for life. So it went from $99 down to $19.95. And starting in August, it'll go up to $39.95, which is still an incredible deal. Okay. So wherever, if you can't afford the $19.95 right now, understand that, I can relate to that. But at least get the free tribe because Robert Hollis's training is life-changing. Okay. All right. So that said, let's talk about your profile. Okay. And I want you guys to kind of listen to what I'm saying, hear what we're talking about, because this is what's helped myself and people like Carlos and the Pucos and Tara Scary and Robert Hollis and Jenna Zweigel all have success in network marketing using social media. And we're not talking about, at this point, we're not talking about, doing paid marketing or anything like that. We're just talking about what we call organic marketing. Okay, so on your Facebook profile, and I'm gonna share my screen here real quick. Well, not real quick, but I'm trying to get rid of. Okay. All right, so let's. Okay.
So see your screen just fine, Ron. You see your screen just fine.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. So if I look at the profile, first thing that you're going to see is there's a header up here, and you can make your headers however you want. I would say make them something fun that's about you. I just went into I love Photoshop, so I went into Photoshop, took a picture somebody took of me up on the stage, and just did some cool gold lettering and so forth. Doesn't need to be this fancy. Doesn't need, you don't need to pay anybody to do it. But if you want, you could go out to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and for $5, have somebody create a Facebook profile banner for you. Just give them some information, send them maybe your picture or whatever, and use that and take advantage of that. The other thing you want to do is you want to have a good profile picture here. Okay. Now I see people out there that use little comic pictures or pictures of our dogs. You know me, I love my dog and everything else. But people aren't coming to your profile to meet your dog. Now, if you want to have a picture of you holding your dog, but you need to have a picture of you and your spouse, you on there up in the banner where you have more space. That's a place where you could put maybe a family picture of you and your animals and things like that, with some cool text or whatever. But in this little profile picture, you want a picture of yourself for a lot of reasons. One is when you start commenting and sharing and posting things and everything else, that's the picture everybody's going to see. They're not going to see your banner. And if they see like a cartoon and things like that, they're not going to take you seriously. All right. So you need to make sure that you put something up there that looks decent. I happen to have this. I took a picture of selfie this day, and I happen to have the Les Brown shirt. You got to be hungry. I thought that was kind of cool. That's Carlos and I's favorite saying. You got to be hungry. All right. The next thing on here is you want to take care of filling this out. So many people put, affiliated Henpeworks, and that's all they've got in there. Nothing else. This is, and I love what Jenna talks about, this is the area on your Facebook profile that people get a snapshot of who you are and what to expect as far as posting everything on your page, right? So, husband, dad, veteran, CBD lover, pilot, Newfoundlands, and so when people are looking at my page, they're not going to be shocked if they see something about veterans, or if they see something about something about God or Christianity, things like that, or they see something about CBD, or I love to fly, or whatever. They're going to look at this part, and then as they go down here, they're going to see things that are congruent. So take the time to fill this stuff out, where you were from, what you did, and so forth. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to see who relates to you. So when I go to look at somebody's profile, one of the first things I do is I check up here. So if I'm going to, I'm going to go to Curtis's profile, and I go to Curtis's profile and I see, and I'm just picking on Curtis because we've known each other for a while. And I see that Curtis has a blank background up here, a blank banner. And he's got, maybe a comic picture that's just, something off the wall. And all it says under intro is, maybe I do Henpeworks or something. Maybe he doesn't even say anything about his company. And then the posts on here are just kind of all over the place, quotes and, just different things. Well, the first thing I'm going to see up here is like, I don't know. Maybe I should second thoughts and look at this. Now, if I go to Curtis's profile, and he's got a cool banner up here and a great picture of him, and he's got all this information here, I know that he's taken the time to fill this information out, to do the things that he needs to do to make sure that when I look at his profile, I know who he is, right? And then I start looking at this, looking at these entries here, and I start looking at his posts and see that all of that is congruent, all of that is consistent. So now I've got a good picture of who he is. Now I can make a good decision about whether I want to connect with him and start, building a better relationship. If that information is not there, most people are just going to pass and go to the next person. Now, a good marketer, one of the first things they're going to do is look at your profile, right? If I come over to your house, when I walk into your home, I get a immediate snapshot of who you are as a family, right? If your house is spotless and antiseptic, very few pictures on the wall, everything is, kind of like that brushed metal appliances and everything is, really kind of antiseptic, I get one impression of who you are. If you walk into my house, you're going to see all kinds of knickknacks, and my wife is like, she's the green thumb queen, plants all over the place, that are blooming and all kinds of things. You're going to get another picture. You're going to see our dogs walking through the house. I mean, your profile should be the same thing. Think of your profile as your home. I love when Jenna's talking about this and she's saying, that, she doesn't design her profile to be a picture of who she wants to attract. She designs her profile to be the picture of who she is, so that she can attract the people that are congruent with her. Not try to be somebody that she's not, so that she can attract these people that she may think will do good in the business, right? So you need to be you. You need to make your Facebook profile who you are, so people understand that. So take the time over the next week, make sure that you have gone through, put together a good banner up here. Make sure there's a good picture of you. Have your spouse take a picture of you. Have your kids take a picture of you and your husband or your wife. Put something up there so that not only when people come to your profile, they see you, but every time you comment, that little thumbnail of you is all over the place and people see that too. You'd be surprised how many times when I'm out on different groups and pages, I'll go to comment on somebody and I look over and I see what their profile picture is. And I go, yeah, maybe not. Because I was on one the other day and the person was sitting there doing one of these things with their fingers out and, their arms crossed like they were radicals. Now, do I want to be, is that who I am and who I want to connect with? No. So that little picture cost them, possibly me getting involved, with their business or opportunity and what was going on. And you know what? They'll never know that. Okay. Now, I love what Jenna talks about. She goes out, if she's got things in her profile that are talking about, and don't take this politically in any way, shape, or form, one way or the other. Those of you who know me know my political affiliations, but I'm just saying that if you are taking the two extremes, right, Trump and Hillary, if you've got in your bio, your about intro here that you're a big Hillary fan, and then you're posting a bunch of posts about how good Trump is doing, there's a disconnect there. And you're gonna draw all these people because of your posts that are Trump fans, and yet you're really a Hillary fan, and you're gonna say, what's going on here? Why is this happening, right? So that's why it's so important to make sure this first snapshot. And the cool thing about it is if you look at your profile, and I actually, if I'd have been prepared more, I could have actually shared my, but if you guys can see this, my camera is pretty good. If you look on a phone, the first thing that comes up is your picture and your bio, right? That's the first thing people see. They have to scroll, and I've got an iPhone 10, so it's got a pretty big screen. So if they've got a smaller screen, but they have to scroll to get anything else, right? But the first thing that comes up is, boom, right there, your picture and your bio. And if all that says is, I'm here, I'm a dad, or, just maybe one thing, I would put 4 or 5 things in there that define who you are. And find some little icons, that kind of spice it up a little bit. And then you make sure that the posts that you're putting out there. Now, I get asked this all the time, well, how often should I post? Okay. I wouldn't post any more than a couple of times a day, because people will get tired of your posts coming up on their stream all the time. And here's what happens, and I agree with Jenna when she was talking about this, is that it's like a husband and wife, and the spouse goes away for a weekend. and you don't want to not post for a whole weekend. But the spouse goes away for the weekend, and when she comes back, the dogs, the husband, the kids, and everybody is super excited. Banners are up. Yay! It was only a day or so, right? Haven't you ever noticed that with your dogs? Those of you who have dogs, you go outside to get the mail and you come back and they act like you've been gone for a week. Okay? Hold on here a second. I apologize. I forgot to put my phone in the do not disturb mode. All right. So that's what you want, is you want your audience to be kind of like that dog where, wait a minute, I haven't heard from them for a couple hours. What's going on? Oh, they just came back. So I would do 2 to 3 and I would mix it up. And I don't know what the percentages is good. I've read so many different things, but I would always put something that's inspirational out there. Maybe start your morning off with something that's inspirational. I would try to put something every single day that reflects a little bit about who you are, either your family, your dogs. I was amazed. I did a little, short video yesterday of Emma, our granddaughter, and I taking Gabriel for a walk. And it got a ton of engagement, a ton of views, and people commenting on it and everything else. What does that tell you? It tells you that people love that stuff, right? They love seeing that stuff. They love seeing who you are and what you are. Tara Scary is a master at this. She if you look at her feed, now she posts a little bit more than I do, but she's got so many posts. You can follow her journey across from the east coast of Canada, from the furthest most point of Canada on the east to the furthest most point on the west, right? She's in Vancouver now on the west coast in British Columbia. And all along the way, she's got pictures of what they're doing, her and her kids, and everything that's going on, okay? So make sure, and then every once in a while, something exciting about your business. And I know if you're listening to and watching the Attraction Marketing Group and all that, they're always out there telling you, no, you never post about your business, you never do that. I personally, I've been a part of that for many years, and I'm going to tell you that it's just not true. You've got to let people know what you're doing. And here's the prime story that I keep telling people and keep going back to. When Robert Hollis was out there looking for someone to connect up with and build his business with for his wife, he kept hearing Jenna's name and went to Jenna's profile, and if you ask him, he'll tell you. What did he see? All kinds of rank advancements and success stories about her and people on her team. There was no question about what company she was in, what her products were, the success of her team and everything else, and that got his attention. It wasn't the secret agent group that just had value. Everybody's giving value nowadays. Everybody's out there giving value. Who do I pick? The person that gives the most value? Who is that, right? But if in this day and age, Carlos just sent me a thing that a network marketing company just purchased up another network marketing company so that they could add CBD oil to their repertoire, right? So is everybody jumping on the bandwagon? Of course they are. So why are they doing that? Why do you think that this company did that? Because they see the writing on the wall. So if people don't know that you're in HempWorks, the #1 company out there, the best of the best, and you're selling CBD oil, guess what? They're going to see all these other companies and they're going to go somewhere else because they don't know. So you've got to make sure that your profile reflects who you are, what you like, and what you're doing. Okay? I hope that makes sense for everybody. So over the next week, you need to make sure that you're going through and fine-tuning your profile. Now, I know a lot of you, Bill and Laura, they've always got great pictures out there. Laura's doing lives now. I'm so proud of her. And pictures of the puppies and the farm and everything. There's no question about it. Carlos, man, the master. And if you guys don't realize this, Carlos wasn't doing lives until he got into this business. I talked about it. We talked about it. And he kept on, I don't want to do lives. Don't make me, And now if you didn't know better, you'd think he'd been doing lives like Bob Proctor for 100 years, right? So we were talking yesterday, and we're both getting people that are reaching out and say that have been on our lives or have seen our posts, But we're getting engagement and people reaching out now and saying, hey, you know what? I'm ready. I want to join. I want to join. Okay. So if you think this doesn't work, please think again. Okay. And the last thing I want to say about the profile is, and you guys have heard this to ad nauseum, right? Start doing lives. Stop, another young lady that is a master at doing lives is Michelle Pucco. I mean, she is, I'm always watching. She's like Carlos. She's outside. She's doing them all over the place. You'd be amazed at how people just love that. And it helps immensely. Break out of, like Jenna says, get comfortable being uncomfortable. If you're scared to do a live, that's the most important reason why you should be doing them. If you're afraid to do them, if you have fear of doing them, that's why you need to be doing them. Now, I do a live 5 days a week. I typically don't do them on the weekend because I've got so many other things going on. And we build this business for the freedom to spend with family and things like that. So I try to get some time in with the family and so forth and all that. But if you start off at 1 or 2 times a week, get your feet wet, go do them, 2 or 3 minutes. Keep them short. Just talk about anything and everything that relates to you or your business. Find out what it is, that you know what it is that you have a passion about. Talk about your puppies. Talk about, just that conversation, Laura, that we had just a few minutes before we started, right? Your dog's getting ready to go into heat. When you're going to have the puppies, da-da-da. People love hearing that kind of stuff. What's going on with your kids? But break out of it. I'm telling you, it'll change everything. If this old gray-haired guy can do it, any of you can do it, all right? If you could go back a few years and see my lives in the beginning, they're not fantastic now, but boy, back then they were. And I've been teaching in front of people and on stage doing stuff, but for some reason, looking at that little light right in front of you and talking into that light is strange for people. Yet we'll have conversations with people on a daily basis without any problem. So just focus on the fact that I'm just talking to one person. I'm just communicating with one person. I'm just talking to Betty right now. That's all I'm talking to. I'm just talking to Betty, and I just put that in my head, and that's what I do, right? Okay, that's your profile. Let's move to the audience real quick. Your audience is those people that are on your friends list, basically, right? So most of you, and I won't say most of you, but a lot of you have reached out to me and said, hey, you know what? I'm doing what you're saying. I'm reaching out to people every single day, and I'm just not getting any response. Okay. Now here are the 2 questions I'm gonna ask you. First off, I'm gonna ask you, how's your profile looking? Have you gone through your profile? Because those people that you're reaching out, they're gonna go to your profile, and then I'm gonna ask the Carlos Martinez question. Would you join you? Right? Would you join you? So that's question number 1. If you're not having success when you're going out there reaching out to the people. And then question number 2 is, have you looked at your audience and analyzed your audience to see if your audience is that audience that you've developed over the years before you got in this business, who may not be receptive at all? You might have 1,000 people that you've gathered over the years that have no desire to do a home business, have no desire about CBD oil or anything like that. So you've got to look at your audience. Jenna talks all the time about washing your audience, going out there. Now, how do you do that? You start going out to groups that are congruent with who you are and who you want to connect with, and start connecting to people, putting comments on there, just, reaching out, talking to people like you normally talk to. Don't make this harder than it is. When you're trying to connect with somebody for the first time to create that connection, think about you being in the grocery store in line, getting ready to check out. And that person in front of you just got one of, I don't know why you called this growing up with the kids, that we call them smut magazines, but the little, rag magazines that's got, so-and-so just had a baby with 3 heads and all that stuff. And you notice the person in line in front of you has got one of those magazines, and you make a comment on it, right? And you start up a conversation. You'd be surprised. We do that all the time in our lives. Social media and social marketing is no different. The difference is you being in line at the checkout is you go into their Facebook profile and checking them out and then coming back and saying, hey, Carlos, I just noticed that you've got 4 Shih Tzus. That is awesome. A friend of mine's got a couple of them. Have you ever had any issues with them that you've tried CBD oil with? That stuff is amazing, right? And you can do that same conversation. Just like if I was talking with him in the Whole Foods store, right? Now, how do I know that Carlos goes to the Whole Foods store? Because I've stalked him, I know him, I've gotten connected with him, right? I'm not just making this stuff up off the top of my head, everybody. This is what we do when we connect. This is how we know these things. So you need to look at your audience. And there's the old saying, I've said this to you all so many times. If you can't change your audience, change your audience. So if you're out there reaching out and messaging people in your audience and you're getting absolutely crickets, it's not necessarily the message you're sending out, it's your audience. Your audience is just not receptive. So you need to take time to go out to people like Jay Shetty and Eric Worre and so forth and start connecting with the people that are on there. Not spamming your links, not talking about your product or anything else, just listening to what they're saying in their comments and making intelligent, engaging comments with them. You'd be surprised. Not long ago, Robert did this live. He went out to Jay Shetty's and Ellen DeGeneres and commented on some things, and I was doing it in the background at the same time, and of course it was showing up on his screen as he was sharing it, and both of us had people that we were commenting on and talking to, friend requests us right there live within minutes, right? And then that builds you start building a relationship with them. Okay, so you need to make sure that you understand your audience. Figure out who your audience is, and then go out to groups and pages where your audience would hang out, right? If you're a dog lover and love going to dog shows, you're going to go to dog shows and meet people that are of that same. You're not going to go to a cat show. Does this all make sense to everybody? Yes? Thumbs up? Okay. All right. So that's audience. That's your Facebook profile. You need to work on those things this next week. You need to do a serious overview, overhaul, revamping, and start looking. You may need to go through your profile and get rid of some of your posts that just aren't congruent with who you really are and what's going on. Just because someone else put a post up and they've got engagement, here's a good indicator. Have you ever shared somebody else's post that's gotten 500 comments on it, and you share it and you get 2? You know why that happens? They've tailored their audience to understand that comment. Yours is not. So just because someone gets good engagement on a post doesn't mean you're going to. Remember that. It does not mean, and if your audience isn't receptive to it just because theirs is, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I get people asking me all the time, how were you so successful that first month? How did you get so many people? And how did that happen? How come, we use those same scripts and they don't work? The scripts that Aaron said and Robert's talked about and all that, we use them and they didn't work. Why did they work for you? Anybody have that question? It's the audience. That's the only difference. It's not like when someone read my words on a text message and said, oh, I get that. And they read your words and said, yeah, I don't understand that. Same exact words, right? So what could be the difference? The difference is whose ears they're falling on. I've spent the last 4 or 5 years developing an audience of entrepreneurs. So a lot of the people on my audience, and I'm even refining that more and more and more every single day. But most of the people in my audience are there's some obviously friends and family, but there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, people that want to make some extra income. So when I reach out to them and message them and say, hey, you open to looking at something that might get you an extra $500 a month into your household? Oh, absolutely. I'm always looking for something. If your audience is a bunch of people that you've just met over the years or just clicked add friend to, right, that you have no idea who they are, and you send that message out, they're going to go, what are you talking about, man? I like my job. Leave me alone. You're spamming me. And you're going, wow, Ron sent that message out and he recruited 23 people his first month. I sent the message out and everybody can't stand me anymore. That's a good thing, because now you know. You need to get people that can stand you. Right? So, all right. Next thing I want to talk about, and this is kind of off from social media, is, and I'm watching my timer. We may go an hour and a half or so today, but I think this is important. If you have to go, that's fine. You can come back and watch the replay, watch the recording. But this is now, I'm gonna deviate a little bit from the social media side of things to give you a little bit of training that says you need to become self-sufficient. Nothing wrong with asking questions. If you don't understand something and you don't know where to find it, it's okay. It's like and Carlos, correct me if I'm wrong. If you don't know what you don't know, when do you want to know that you don't know it? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, something like, yeah, it goes like this. If you don't know what you don't know, when would you like to know?
Yeah, if you don't know what you don't know, when would you like to know, or when would you like me to tell you, right? That you don't know. So you've got to get to that place in your business where you know. You know, we all think if we call someone ignorant, it's a bad thing. And I love that Robert Hollis uses this all the time and says, it's not a bad thing. It just means you don't know. But if you've been told, so you know, and now you don't do it, now you're not ignorant anymore. You're one of those other words. Maybe it starts with an S, got a T, a U, and a P, I D in it. Oh, wait, I didn't say it, right? I didn't say it. You're just either lazy or just not doing it, right? I don't know. I'd call you stupid, but I mean, it's like you're not ignorant anymore because you've been told. So I want to tell you, I want to show you where you can find some things that not only help you on social media, but will help you in your business. Hi, Haley Joe. Okay, so if you go to the Daring Dream Team, and Carlos and I send people to this all the time, right? Because there's all kinds of assets. First off, you have the units. So you have all these units, and I don't know how many training videos I've got in here now, but there's a ton. And you can use this search bar over here on the left, and you can put in anything. Let's say I want to find out about comp plan. Okay, I can just say comp and do search, hit enter, and here we go. Here's Saturday training comp plan. Here's, all kinds of things on the comp plan. I would get used to going to the files section. Okay, there's all kinds of things in the file section, and we're going to come back here. One of the things I get asked all the time, do you guys know where I can find some graphics to use on Facebook? Okay, well, if you go down here, I'm just gonna, you may have to scroll a little ways. Let me make sure I didn't pass it. Oh, right here, Google Drive resources. So if you click on this file, it's going to open up this document here. And here's a link to my Google Drive. And I'm always putting all kinds of resources in there. Templates for rank advancements, Facebook graphics that you can use, all kinds of different things, right? It's right there. All you got to do is click on it, download what you want, right? Facebook Live ideas. I put this in the other day. You want a list of some things that you can do? Here's a long list of Facebook Live ideas. All kinds of stuff. Get your head back in the game. Ego, edging God out, all kinds of different things. Every time, because I keep a running list when I'm doing my Facebook Lives, I just keep adding to it. That way I can go back in time and say, oh, I haven't talked about that for a long time. Let me do that one again, and so forth. Follow up. You're looking for our disclaimers. Here's our disclaimers. You can go in here, copy and paste them, and you should be using them if you're talking about income or talking about products and things like that. Ton of information. We're going to talk about this one here in just a little bit. Tim's prospecting training and the script, okay? Get used to going here. Do your due diligence before you reach out and ask, because here's what you're doing. You're asking somebody, where can I find this? And guess what happens? Someone on the team, some leader, will go out there and do exactly what I'm doing and then come back and give you the information. Now, which person do you want to be? Do you want to be the person on your team that is training people to go out and find it for themselves? Or do you want to be the person that has to keep going out there and giving the link to people because they won't do that? Right? So first and foremost, if you're looking for an answer on something, look at the resources before you reach out and ask. I would love it if people would come out and say, hey, you know what? I've checked the Facebook graphics and I've checked the YouTube channel. I just can't find this. Maybe it's just me. Does anybody else happen to know real quick where it is? Then people don't have a problem going out and doing the work for you. But if your first line of defense is to get in the messenger thread and say, hey, where can I find this? And expect everybody else to do it for you, that's not leadership. And you're going to develop a team that does the same thing with you, okay? And I'm not saying this to be hard or mean to anybody, because you all know me, that's just not me. But it's something that you need to do. It's something that you need to learn. You need to learn to be that person that goes out and looks first and then comes back. And that's why I'm telling you, here's where everything is. Go to the files in the dream team. Go to the files in the vision team. The other place that you need to use all the time is our YouTube channel, okay? Now, how do you get to our YouTube channel? It's real simple. DaringDreamTeam.com/YouTube. It'll take you right to this page, okay? And you can look at, if I look at the playlist right here, you can see 124 training videos so far. 124 training videos. We've done, you know, Carlos talked about this on one of our trainings and showed everybody, again, how to do this. And we actually, it was his idea. I actually put a video together to show people how to search a YouTube channel, because most people will go up here to this search bar and now you're searching everything on YouTube. You need to go to this little magnifying glass here. And let's say I want to look at the comp plan. I type in comp plan. And boom, compensation plan with Josh Schwagel. First one of. Now I can click on this and stop it. And I can go up here and highlight this. Now you'll notice that it's after this and sign, the ampersand up here, all of this stuff, it just keeps where I happen to be last time. So it says I'm 1 second in, and that's where it's going to start. So I typically delete that and then hit enter and restart it, right? Make sure I'm still on the same one. And then I just click on it again, and now I can copy this link and give it to somebody. Hey, you want to see the comp plan? Here it is. Boom. But you should know how to do that before you reach out to anybody else. You should know how to go into our channel.
Okay, now we're going to
and do a search by clicking on a little magnifying glass here. I had somebody the other day ask me, well, how does that credit wallet thing? Well, guess what? Credit wallet. Okay, what is it called? Credit, let's just try credit. I forget, what is the credit wallet called? Carlos, do you remember?
Yeah, I don't remember. You know, maybe try typing in how to. You got a lot of how-to videos on how to use the credit wallet, how to upload a Craigslist or Craigslist.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's a great one. Thank you. How to. Just do how to. Tons of it. Tons of it. Okay. So those are the two assets, right? Our files section and our YouTube channel. Go there first. Figure it out. And then if you can't, because here's what happens. If you reach out to me and say, hey, I didn't find anything on the credit wallet, and I looked all through the YouTube channel, guess what it's going to key me into? Ooh, I need to make a video on that. So the next time someone goes out there, they'll find it. But it also shows me that you're someone that really is serious about your business and what's going on, and you want to, you really want to become a leader. Okay. All right. Last but not least, I want to talk about this real quickly because I don't want to go into a ton of depth because.
Hey, Ron,
yeah.
Can you, on the YouTube thing, you may want to show people real quick how to subscribe to your channel and how to get updates.
Good idea. Really, it's really easy. There is a what is the subscribe button? Where is it? Let's just do this. It probably doesn't have it there for me because I am. Let me see if I can view it as. Okay, I'm going to switch to my account. Okay. Because I own the account, it won't let me subscribe to my own account. So there'll be a button right here that says subscribe. So if I click this, it would ask me to unsubscribe. Yours will be red and it'll allow you to subscribe. You want to click subscribe and you want to click this little bell. Now, I don't have the bell on there, clicked on there, because if there's an update there, I'm probably the one doing it, so I don't need to be. But if you click this bell, you'll get a notification saying that I uploaded a new video. And it might just be the same exact one that you needed at that point in time. You never know, right? But that's how you subscribe. There'll be a subscribe button, and you want to make sure you click on the little bell, okay? All right. Last but not least, let's talk about Tim Garza's prospecting training, okay? And again, I'm not going to go into a ton of depth with this because Tim's going to go over it Sunday night. But I would encourage you to watch this video, this Facebook Live video, because he goes through it, all right? And he took this script after watching The Professor. And I may add that link to The Professor in here so you can watch that. But Robert Hollis is talking about The Professor, and he uses a number of different verbiage, language and sentences and things when he's talking to people. So what Tim did was he took this and said, okay, I'm going to make a little script out of this. And the reason I like this, that I've fallen in love with this, is because remember and you'll love this if you watch The Professor. One of the things that Robert Hollis says in there is you need to say as little as possible to as many as possible. Anybody hear that before? Anybody ever hear that? Right? We talk about that all the time. As little as possible to as many as possible. So I've looked at some of the other scripts that we used in the beginning and things like that, and they're like, 3 or 4 pages long, it seems like. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm on a 90-day blitz. I'm blah, 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 blah. And, would you be open? Well, here's his script. Now watch this and watch the power of this. Hey, do you have a second? That's it. Do you have a second? And I thought, how can that possibly work? Oops. Check wallet. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, sir. Every time Carlos messages me, it comes up on my screen. I'm like, okay, wait, he's right there. Why is he messaging me? Okay, check wallet. So I went out yesterday and I sent out, I don't know, maybe 30 to 40 of these messages. And all I did was say, hey, do you have a second? And a lot of them were people that I had sent the long message out on Messenger before and got absolutely no response. 80% of the people that I did that to, so I'd click on my link, and I'm going to show you here in a minute. I clicked on that person, and I saw that the last message I sent was a long one, right? It was a long thing to see if they were open. And I pasted, hey, do you have a second? 80% of those people I did that with that were in that group responded like that. Sure, what's up? Never responded before. But now they responded. I'm like, whoa, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, right? So then I came back and I thought, I keep hearing that favor thing doesn't work. Nobody's going to do that. And they're going to catch on. They're going to know, everything in me was saying, well, maybe I'll tweak it a little bit. Maybe. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be coachable. I'm going to follow instructions. So I copied and pasted this line right here. Can you do me a huge favor? I'm helping a company expand in the area, and we're looking for people that could use some extra money. Do you know anybody like that? I was blown away at how many people came back and said, yeah, absolutely. A couple came back and said, no, absolutely. Some of them said, what is it? Okay. So what did I do? I sent them this. Would it be okay to send you over a free tour? Check it out, and I promise you're going to feel comfortable referring me to people afterwards. Again, am I talking to this person, or I'm talking to who they're going to refer to? Right? And that's what Robert's talking about in that movie, in that Training the Professor. Taking it away from them and talking about referring it to them. The results of people coming back and saying, sure, were phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. Like 20% or more. So then I said, you're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate your time. I got rid of the boss part, and then I gave him my link. I didn't give him any special super duper. I gave him the link that Josh Swagel says converts better than anything else. And then I just left it. Well, since then, I've gotten 5 pre-enrollees out of all the people that I've reached out to, and they're now in the checking up of the next step, right? So after that, I then sent them then. So, and obviously you changed prospect to their name. So, Angel, do you like what you see? Do you see an opportunity for yourself? Now I'm finally asking them after they've looked at it, and we'll see how it goes. All right. It's that. So do you see how any of these are lengthy at all? You're saying as little as fast as fast. And when Tim goes through that training, what he's doing is he's going through these people over here. So let's say, for instance, I just grabbed, because all of these people that have a green dot, that means they're online right now, right? So if I just go to any one of these people, and I'm just going to try and pick someone. See, this was the last message I sent to this person. Andre, look at this long message. Crickets. Okay. So I'm going to send Andre Wilson I would normally, in fact, let's just do it, just so you can see. I would normally have my documents open. I would grab this and go, hey, you got a second? I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to paste it, hit enter, and leave it at that. Okay? Now, I'm only going to do that one. I'm sure Tim will show, if you watch that video, you'll see Tim do 20 or 30 of them while he's on that video talking. Okay? That's it. Now, how many of you can go through and do 20 of those in a day? 10 of them in a day. Reach out to 10 of your friends and put that out there and follow. Now, where do we find the script? Oh, right. It's right here. Under Files, Tim Garza. So you have this open on one area of your screen, and then you have your Facebook over here open, and you just start reaching out to people. Okay? So whether or not Andre will come back, I don't know. He may or may not. But I don't really care at this point. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? Say as little as possible to as many as possible. Hey, you got a second? Wow. That's pretty little. That's pretty little, right? And you will be amazed. Now, again, if you haven't done the first part of what we talked about today, if you haven't done the clean up your profile, check your audience, and gone through all of that first, then you may not have the same results that I'm having or Tim's having and so forth. Because you may be, hey, you got a second on deaf ears. But I can tell you the difference between that long script about are you open and, look at me, I'm having a 90-day blitz, and hey, do you have a second, are significant. And the reason being is, regardless of what your audience is, if you ask somebody if they've got a second, doesn't matter. They're going to go, what? Yeah, what's up? Because they have no idea what you're trying to talk to them about. Right? Now, when Tim, when you watch his video and he's going through this, you've got to be able to kind of think on your feet a little bit, because sometimes they come back with an answer that might be, oh, okay, hey, you're not going to try and pitch me, are you? And I love what he did. He kept his posture throughout it and said, there were times when he just said, on this one here, he always ends it like, oh, hey, great, hope everything's going good for you. God bless and have a great day. And you go on to the next one. You don't try to convince anybody. You don't try to explain a bunch of things to them. You keep with the script and you keep everything with your posture that you're in control of this, right? So it's important that you follow through that. Now, I'm telling you, I saw some pretty, one guy that pre-enrolled this morning after I'd sent him the link is a pretty heavy hitter. So we'll see, but he was crickets before. As soon as I ask if you got a second, all of a sudden, guess what that's doing? It's causing curiosity. I was just gonna say, I just had something pop up over there, and it wasn't him. But okay, it's causing that curiosity, and you're like, what's up? What's up? Everything okay? And I was amazed at how asking if they would do you a favor, but taking it off of them and asking if they know anybody, right? It takes pressure off of them. Not one person came back and said, yeah, send me what you got so I can send it to other people. Every single one of them that responded back came back and said, yeah, what do you got? They didn't qualify it as, yeah, what do you got? I'm not interested, but I'll send it to other people. They just said, what do you got? Right? And then you go from the next one. And all of those are short sentences, saying as little as possible to as many as possible. Okay? Has this helped you guys at all? Has this been helpful? All right. I want to take, it's top of the hour. I want to open it up to questions at this point and see if anybody has got any questions that either myself or Carlos can answer for you about what we just went over. So if you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask away.
Hey, Ron, I've got an appointment like in 10 seconds.
Okay.
I got to go. But guys, thank you so much. Isn't this training amazing? Ron is awesome. We're so blessed to have Ron here with us. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Carlos.
All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Anybody got a question? Comment? Frank.
Yeah, I'm here loving what you're doing in training. I just got something to share that might help some people. You say an awful lot in an hour, and we can't remember it, right? So I use a whiteboard. I write down my notes, then I transfer it to hard copy later on so I can review it.
That is awesome. And see, Frank's got a good point there. You need to figure out what it is that you can use. For me, I'm an electronic guy. So if I'm on a training, I've got like a notepad up and I'm typing, right? For Frank, that's a great idea, whiteboard, because it's big and it's right in your face, right? So whatever it is, though, that you can use or to get some notes so that you can remember it. Now, the good news is it used to be in the old days, that's all you had. There were no replays. You're sitting in a room and you're getting trained. If you didn't take good notes, that was it. Now, the good news for us is that we can replay this and stop and start it and take notes and go on and so forth. But the statistics say that the more you write down when you're watching and learning something, the more you're going to retain. Okay? So.
One more thing, if you'd send a text message for that address for Tim Garza, it would be great.
For that video?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's in that document and in files.
Okay.
So if everybody goes to files and it's the first document under files in the Deering Dream Team, it's the link right at the top. Okay?
Cool.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have a question?
I do, Ron.
Betty.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was looking, when you were taking us through your Facebook page, you have an awesome page with stuff on the left, and some of us aren't that tech savvy. And if we want to improve our Facebook page, like your Deering Team on the side where you had files and different things, is there anybody that can do a training on that if we're not that good at setting up a Facebook page? And we over to the left where you had all those files and stuff.
Yeah, and here's what I would very good question, Betty. And now that you've put that in my brain, thank you very much. I won't sleep until I do it myself. But there are this is what Carlos does to me. He says, hey Ron, what do you think about maybe doing a quick 5-minute training on this? It's like, oh, why did you do that? But if you go out to YouTube and you do a search on the main search up at the top, not on the channel search, but if you do a search on how to set up my about information on my Facebook profile, there's a ton of videos that will show you how to do all that.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Yours looks so awesome, though. I was just
thank you.
Look at that.
It wasn't always that way. I had to learn, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else? Jay Michelle, any comments?
Yes, I have a question. So with the Garza script, right? I've been using it for a couple of days now.
Huh?
And as far as after people become a pre-enrollee and they start building their list, have you gotten to a point where you actually got to the point of them coming back to you with a list and walking through that next half of the script, or have you not?
I have not at this point because I just started it yesterday.
Okay.
So I haven't gotten back to that point, and I'm not sure where I'm going to go from there.
Right.
I mean, as far as the part where they need to make a list and start reaching out to their people.
Yeah, I think it says something like you'll talk to them or you'll show them what to say to them.
Yeah. What my next position after they've taken the pre-enrollee is I go from there. I use that little line. I message them, but I also send them a standard email that I send to anybody that pre-enrolls, and I've had pretty good success with people upgrading from. That shows them, a video, Robert Hollis's video on the next steps, where to go, and a couple of other videos. I think maybe one on the comp plan and so forth. Because my whole goal next, once they've taken the pre-enroll, is to get them in.
Right.
Right. And everybody, you understand, one of the things that Jay just said that's important about this system is, and this process is, if you're getting pre-enrollees in, and Robert talks about this all the time, and people don't realize the power of this. And I did in the beginning, but I'd lost sight of it. And that happens to us, especially when you get older. Sometimes you just lose sight of everything, right? Frank's back there laughing too because he knows what I'm talking about. He's on his second 20-year career, so I got to catch up to him. But as you build and put pre-enrollees in, guess where they go? Does anybody understand where your pre-enrollees go? Jay, where do your pre-enrollees go?
To contact manager.
Right. Okay, that's where they physically go, but where do they really go?
To your downlines.
Yeah, they go to your team below.
Did you see? Did you hear that? So, okay, I just bring in Daniel, Mr. Superstar Daniel Perez. I bring in Daniel. He's he's a pre-enrollee. I don't care at that point. I send him what I got to send him, but what am I doing? Saying as little as possible to as many as possible, as quick as possible, right? Hey, got a minute? Hey, got a minute? Hey, got a minute? Hey, got a minute? And in the process of that, I put in 5 other people, 5 other pre-enrollees. Guess where they go? Under Daniel. Guess what Daniel's doing? He's getting emails saying, hey, you just got another pre-enrollee. Hey, you just got another pre-enrollee. Hey, that's the power in the system. So all of a sudden, Daniel's going, and now it's Wednesday. Now it's Thursday. Thursday he gets an email saying, hey, you've got 7 pre-enrollees and 2 of them have upgraded. What are you going to do, right? That system is hugely powerful, but you have to work the system, right? So the key in getting people in and doing it as fast as possible is that the people that you're getting in are seeing this activity and seeing all these emails coming in saying, oh, wait, I've got another what's going on here? I've had people reach out to me and go, hey, can you explain this to me? All I did was like take the free tour and I've got people underneath me already. What's going on here? That's exactly what you want. That's why we keep saying, do this as fast as possible, even if you're only trying to make a couple $100s a month extra, because it puts an urgency and a sense of loss in the people that you get in underneath, because they're seeing all these and they're getting dripped on in their emails, right? That makes sense? That's what makes a script or anything that works that will get you pre-enrollees. And I lost sight of that because I was, shiny objects. Anybody ever have the shiny object syndrome? Michelle's laughing. Let me rephrase that. Anybody not have the shiny object syndrome? Anybody here never squirrel? I don't believe you if you say you haven't, because I know if I do it, and I'm pretty focused at what I'm doing right now, I guarantee you almost everybody in the world will do it. Right? Something comes up, new power team, MDC power team system, or, this or that, or this or that. And then every time that does, all of a sudden, boom. What does MDC do? They launch a brand new My Daily Choice site that is phenomenal, right? Okay, Ron. Oh, there's that squirrel. Don't come on. There's that squirrel. Oh, man. He's got nuts. Oh, he's making a nest. I better get over there. What's he doing now? The tree's wiggling. Right? You gotta. I'm back to the basics, and I've got 2 new people this month, or at this point, and I haven't really hardly been trying to do any. I mean, I've just started yesterday, saying, okay, the last 11, 12 days of the month, I'm going to put in 18 more people. That's my goal. I'm going to work on putting in 18 more people. How am I going to do that? I'm going to use the system from a gentleman that took a company from 9 million to 120 million. That's a clue. Okay. Makes sense to everybody?
Can I jump in for 1 second, Ron?
Oh, my goodness, of course.
I don't mean to hijack your training, but
go for it.
I just want to say with that, and if you have anybody that's new that's on here that's going to watch us, I just want to clarify that the pre-enrollees go under your person. Anybody that you bring in is always direct to you. However, they will also be placed under your people in your downline, and they will also benefit from that same person. So it's not that you're bringing them in and then you're like losing them where they're ending up under somebody else. They're direct to you, but the people in your downline will also benefit from that person as they grow. So don't misunderstand that, when we say, where does the pre-enrollee go? It goes under your downline. It does, but they're still direct to you. They just have the benefit of that person as they grow. So I just wanted to make that clear for anybody that knew that's on here. And two other things that I wanted to tell you when you were speaking about your profile picture. You want to make sure that your profile picture is just you. Don't have other people in the picture with you, because then people don't know, which one it is. Make sure it's, it's up close so people can see you, which I actually spent an hour and a half maybe on my phone the other day looking for a picture to change my profile picture to, and I don't have one that fits the bill. So you know what I'm doing this weekend. But yeah, so you want to, you want a picture of your face so people can see you, so that when your face is this little itty bitty dot, they'll know who it is. So, and no sunglasses, which I happen to always love to take pictures with sunglasses on, because the sun and my eyes don't do well together, but I'm going to have to get through it this weekend. So yeah, so try to do it without sunglasses, where people can actually see your face up close when that's just a little dot. And if you're afraid of doing a go live, reach out to your upline and ask them to help you out. I'm sure you all have somebody that's more than happy to go live with you and have a conversation. Forget about the fact that it's live. Just get in there, have a conversation. It's so easy to do, guys. The scariest part is when you're doing it alone, is hitting that button. But if that's your biggest fear, do it with somebody else. Have a conversation. You're going to get somebody that's going to talk more than you will. Kind of like this here. You'll get someone that'll talk more than you do. And that's a great way to ease you into going live, but everybody should definitely be doing it. That's it.
Awesome. I'm caught, Michelle, because my glasses are photogrammed. So my picture, when I first took it, I didn't realize that I had sunglasses on, because I'm not wearing sunglasses. I'm just wearing my glasses. They get dark when I go out in the sun. So, but that's good. And that's why Carlos is always going, James Bond. He was always kidding me about it. Great. What she said about two things. Great advice with the pictures. The only time I would ever tell anybody that it's okay to have two people in is if it's maybe a husband and wife, and the profile is in your name. Like if I go to Jay and Michelle's and it says Michelle, I'm going to obviously think, okay, there's Michelle, not Jay. That's obvious. Right. But I see that a lot, where there's a family picture squished in that little circle. Yeah. And you have no idea which one it is you're really looking at. So that really is imperative, because when you're doing comments like she was talking about, all of that stuff, people are trying to figure out who you kind of are. And obviously they're not going to be able to look at the details, but it's good for them to see exactly, what they can see. Best advice on lives, man. You see, they're on their way to 50K affiliates, and what are they telling you? They're not telling you anything different than Carlos and I've been telling you. Do lives, right? Because I guarantee you someone told them that, right? Someone told them that at some point in their online marketing career, somebody sat them down and said, you guys got to do lives. You just got to do lives. I get this a lot from people. Well, here's a famous line, right? I'll tell someone to do lives and they'll say, well, that's easy for you to say. Anybody ever hear that from their kids or anybody? Well, it's easy for you to say. You've been doing lives for a long time. It's easy for you to say. Well, here's my answer to you. If you ever say that to me, you'll hear me say this, right? And I might be even sarcastic, and if I am, I apologize. But my wife tells me I do that a lot. The sky's blue too. What's that got to do with anything? Easy and hard has nothing to do with it. We're not making a moral judgment on whether you should do lives or not. It's the right thing to do. If it's hard for you, okay, it's hard for you. It's still the right thing to do. Doesn't matter. If it's easy for you, great. It's easy for you. We're just telling you what the right thing to do is if you want to build your business. Now, whether it's hard or easy, that's a whole together different story. That's a whole together different subject. For most people, it is hard to start off and do them. Does that mean because it's hard they shouldn't do it? No. If I want to be a pro figure skater, and I don't, but if I did, it wasn't that funny, Laura. If I want to be a pro figure skater, right, and wear the cute outfits and toe pick and all that stuff, and that, right? I know Then I've got to practice. And even though I might be looking at somebody and going, wow, that you sure make that look easy, it has nothing to do with it. If I want to do that, if I want to accomplish that, I've got to spend hours and hours and hours and hours of hard practice, especially at my age for me. And I played hockey, so I can skate, but I ain't toe picking, okay? I'm just here to tell you. I may wear pads and body check you, but I'm certainly not going to. Yeah, okay. Anyway, but if I did, I would have to spend hours and hours and hours of practicing. Okay, so get it out of your head, easy and hard. It has nothing to do with anything. We can teach you that if it's hard, ways to get past your fear. But no matter what we tell you, and Michelle had a great idea. We talked about this, right? Make it do it with somebody else. And that's a great suggestion. Do your first live with somebody else.
Actually,
go ahead.
Bill and I, we did our first one together, and it was fun. We had fun. It was hot outside, but it was fun. And then I did my own by myself, and I had a really good time.
And once you get to that point, Frank and I did our first one together. We recorded it and then uploaded it and got it out there. And that works too. You got to transition into the live eventually, but you've got to get past the fact that whether or not you should do them or not. That's the first question, and we've given you the answer. You should be doing them. Daniel and Cody, they do them all the time. They're great. Cody's amazing. Here's this young kid, puts us all to shame. He can do lives, standing on his head, right? So it's up to you to make that first decision that says, okay, I'm going to do it. Now you can sit back and determine whether it's going to be hard for you, easy for you, and use some of the techniques that we've taught you on getting past it. But there's only, no matter what special way, I remember the first time I got up on stage, somebody told me to just picture everybody naked. I don't know who came up with that, but that's the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard of, right? It was stupid. But whatever the technique is that somebody might be offering you up, there's only one way to get past your fears. You need to take action, period. You need to take action. And as you take action, if you're starting off and you're afraid to do it, as you take action and as you take action and as you take action, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And just like Laura said, you'll be surprised, it's going to get fun. I watched Michelle, and I'm picking on her because she's here today, her and Jay. But I watched Michelle's, she does hers and she's got her, I assume you're using a selfie stick. I hear my grandkids. My grandkids are here. It's Saturday. They shouldn't be here today. Walking, smiling, laughing, talking about, what's going on and everything. I had a ball doing that one yesterday with Emma and Gabriel out in the yard and everything else. Make them fun. They don't always have to be about, because people say, well, you got to do them about value. There's value in that. There is value in that. What you don't understand is that the value in that is people are seeing you in your home environment, right? It's like watching that wild animal in its native environment. There's value in that because people get attracted to that. That's what attraction marketing is about, becoming attractive. And I don't mean facelifts and makeup and all that. Right? Okay, so if you haven't taken anything away from this, do lives. Do lives. Okay. All right,
Ron.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Back a few bars here. You were talking about once a person hits pre-enrollee, you send them a video. It's to me, these videos, it seems like there's a big bin full of them and all these training materials, and I still feel at some point like I'm trying to just wade through a bunch of stuff trying to find the right thing. Do you have a set, and I don't mean facelift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of, hello, where'd you go? All right. Okay.
I'm getting ready to answer your question, okay?
Holy smokes, I lost you. Okay, there you are.
If you go to files, Bill.
Right.
Okay, and you go to follow-up emails.
Okay.
Okay. This first one here is I've got 2 of them in here, I think. This is what I do. This is all I do. Then I let the system take over. When someone pre-enrolls, I go get I get their email information, and obviously I get their name, and I just highlight this. Obviously, I change this from hey Tyler to whatever their name is. So it'd be hey Bill, it's Ron, or I put it's Ron Deering, but I typically don't put Ron Deering because I've got that in my signature block at the end of my emails and so forth.
Right.
The other one is this one here, and I think Tara gave me this. Tara Scara gave me this. Yep, it's Canadian. Cheers. Okay, so I use one of the other of these.
Okay.
And in this, it's got, you can use this. Actually, I would change this to DeeringDreamTeam.com/free audiobooks. And this one here work with RonDeering.com. It doesn't send them to it's just it's a generic. They're already pre-enrolled with you. It's just a video of Robert Hollis and so forth going through it and so forth. Okay. So
yeah. All right.
That's what I do. So the steps are very, very simple. Okay. Pre-enroll them. Send them a message that I use that Tim had there, and then I send them that email, and then I let the system do its thing.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I get the shiny and the squirrel thing going on too. I get into other stuff and I just kind of fall down the rabbit hole and
we all do that.
Okay, how did I get here?
Exactly.
And what was I looking for?
I do that all the time. I'll get up from my desk and go out in the kitchen and go, now why did I come out here? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I look out the window and sure enough, there's a squirrel on the deck. Or who knew?
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Got time for one more. Bueller? Oh. Jay gets it. He's laughing. Have you guys not seen Ferris Bueller? Or Bueller's Day Off or whatever it is? All right, everybody. I hope this has helped you. This next week, please go look at your profiles. Look at mine. Look at Jay and Michelle's. Look at other people's. Carlos, Tara Scary's, Jenna Zweigels, Robert Hollis. Look at these profiles, but always remember to keep in mind you want to make it you. You want to make it about you. So you need to look at your profile, make sure that your bio is up to date and it's got information in it about you. Hey, and let me show you. Oh, wait. But wait. It's like Ronco, right? But wait, there's more. I want to show you this one last thing, okay? When you go to someone's about page, okay, because this is where that information is. And I do this a lot with people. I'll go to their about page and I scroll down here and I sometimes go to here where they've checked in, but I start looking at this stuff. What music do they like? What movies do they like? Oh man, they like same movies I like. Shoot 'em up, mysteries, kill 'em dead. No, maybe not, but TV shows they like, books they read, things they like. You'll notice that I've got a lot of dog. So if when you're reaching out to somebody, you should be looking at this part of their profile to see what their likes are. Oh man, they really like dogs. They like big dogs. There's a connection. What books are they reading? The Science of Getting Rich, The Greatest Salesman in the World, and so forth. The Secret, the Bible. Okay? Go to their about and look at not just, where they grew up and all that stuff, but go down and look at their interests. You'd be amazed what you'd find. So God bless you all. I hope this has helped. Again, go to roberthollis.com, sign up for the tribe. It starts in 30 minutes. You won't be disappointed. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay and Michelle.
Thanks,
God bless.
Ron.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Ron.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Avita saying thank you. Hasta la vista, baby.